Hi, everybody.
So good to see you.
Hi, it's good seeing you. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
We got to talk new show now.
I know. It's good seeing you.
So for an apocalyptic world, it's the most lush, vibrant, colorful.
Yeah, we're really setting out to tell an anti-apocalypse story. It's not about death, it's about rebirth, it's about hope, it's about rebuilding, it's about restoration. There's a reason I said it 15 years after the event that caused society to fall, because I really didn't want like a harrowing or depressing show. I wanted a really fun, swashbuckling show about heroes setting out to restore the landscape. And because it's about look, the show's about, what's great about an event that causes society to fall is, at least in terms of storytelling, not in reality. But what's great about it is it really lets you have a conversation about what in our society doesn't work, but what about us doesn't work, but also what about us will redeem us, and that it's not just about society falls. It's about that with brotherhood and loyalty and family and love and compassion, we can actually save ourselves. And so I wanted to tell a story that had a hopeful message as well.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, so how did you go about doing this after doing Supernatural? All that?
I just was sort of interested in, after Sarah really took over the day-to-day show running, Sarah Gamble took over the day-to-day show running of Supernatural. First thing I did was take time off and decompressed a little bit and slept and saw my kids. And I did all that for a little while, and which was lovely, by the way. And so then it was just about coming up with what's the next thing, and that it really was that it started with what was my interest in. It was my interest in this sort of Joseph Campbell model of storytelling, these epic quests. A lot of that's in Supernatural, frankly, but I love those mythic quests of good and evil and heroes and journeys, and it's all very Joseph Campbell. It's Star Wars, it's Lord of the Rings, it's Wizard of Oz, it's the Odyssey, and I love that type of story. So it was just about coming up with what's a great setting for that story to take place in, and where I landed was this sort of changed landscape, and it was with working with Bad Robot that we landed on this really compelling what if, and that it's not about nuclear war or disease or zombies. It's just as simple as, what if the power went out, and what if we just flipped off the lights, and because that's something I think everyone can really relate to and understand and visualize of how would they react in that world. Everyone knows what it's like when there's a 5-minute blackout in their house and how frustrating and scary it is. Never mind if it happened forever, or when your computer freezes up. How angry, do you ever get angrier in your day than when your computer malfunctions? And so if the entire world malfunctions, how do we all react? We're all dangerously separated from our food and water supplies. And it would be really difficult and challenging. An entirely new society would have to be formed. And so that was sort of, I think, a really great jumping off point, because I think everyone can visualize themselves and what would they do and how would they survive. And for the record, to answer that question, I would not survive. My best move is to be someone's concubine. I thought about this. And so I'm going to find someone strong, and I'm going to join their harem, if they'll have me. And I don't know if they will.
So the concentration of the show is to how to survive and to go on, not the struggle to try to figure out the problem and to try to go back to how things were before.
Well, yeah,
or is it both?
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, it's just very simple, clean stories. So it's about heroes that are trying to turn the power back on, whether or not we should. Like whether or not we should return to the way things were, because some things are great and a lot of things aren't. But that's all part and parcel with a storyline that's just about a girl trying to get her brother back.
Yeah.
And that's where I like that's how I like to create, especially stuff that's in genre, is you really focus on the characters, you really focus on the humanity. That's what makes it relatable. Anyone can relate to I want my family back.
Yeah.
It's a little more hard to relate to how would I turn the national grid on. But everyone knows what it's like to get your family back, or if your freedoms were taken away, what would you do and how would you fight for them? And so for me, it's those really bloody emotional issues are really the bread and butter of the show, and that you can thread the mystery and the mythology through that. But you look at any great genre show, you look at Lost, which is the gold standard of an ensemble genre show, you look at Buffy, you look at X-Files, that they're all about the characters, and that sure, that island is interesting, but people tune in for those characters, and so that's what we're really working on focusing on here.
So how far of the plan do you have mapped out?
I get asked this question a lot. I certainly have the first season down. I know the next couple years out past that. I've sort of learned, I know I'm sort of infamous for the Supernatural 5-year plan, which is all well and good until you get to year 6. And so this one is really a whole world. And this one is, there's, the Monroe Republic, the country that, that the story now takes place in, but that's not to say that's the only country in North America. And that's not to say that there isn't an entire world to explore here. So really nothing but potential storylines and horizons and characters. So, God willing, we go that long. I mean, but that if we do, that we'll, this is one that, that I'll be able to keep that plan going and going and going.
Can you talk?
Last question.
Can you talk a little bit about the structure of the show? Supernatural is a lot of mythology. There's monster of the week.
Yeah.
How is it? I mean, are you going to be a lot more serialized this time?
No, we found an interesting way. I mean, luckily the heroic quest is episodic in structure. There's when you find the Tin Man, or when you go to the island where the Cyclops is, and that when you're traveling, you move through these towns and these areas where each one has its own story, where you pick up another piece of the puzzle that gets you closer and closer to your ultimate goal. So it's going to be a lot of, this week we're passing through this town and we have either this problem or this fight, and then we pick up whatever item we need to get us to the next step. So you'll be able to pick up the show. You don't have to, it's not like a soap, you don't have to watch every single episode. You can leave the party, come back to the party, and it's meant to be in a way that you can understand and have certain episodic elements. Thanks, everybody.
And good luck with that.
Oh, thanks so much.